Lately, I've been getting a whole lot of questions about my Damien Porter T-shirt. If you want to cop that T-shirt, definitely be sure to go to the T-shirts and more store.printify.me. The reason that I copped this T-shirt is because it got great graphics and the picture is nice and clear. Now, in order to get yourself one of these T-shirts, be sure to go to your preferred banking institution and withdraw the appropriate amount of funds to ensure that your transaction will be facilitated without any delays, impediments, or hinders. Now, also, of course, while you're there, you might want to cop you something else. They have a host of great T-shirts. They have a lot of vintage T-shirts from old sitcoms, old movies, and your favorite artists. It's just so much there, man. Definitely be sure to go to the T-shirts and more store.printify.me and be sure to use the promo code CHILL for your 15% off. You will not regret it. They have a bunch of T-shirts with several different designs among other things, and I guarantee you will find something that you like. Once again, that's the T-shirts and more store.printify.me. Say what's cracking, YouTube. It's your boy 16 to life. And so today I'm going to be reacting to what I consider, in my opinion, one of the most intriguing stories in terms of prison I have ever heard. You know, I think I did a segment on this a while back where I was telling you about an individual by the name of Gumby from Hoover who was actually sent to prison for life without on a murder charge that he actually did not do, him and another individual who was his crimey. While going to prison, he get into it with one of his homies. He unalives his homie, and now they're trying to give him the death penalty. And in his own words, he'll tell you about how unaliving his homie in Calipatria eventually led to his ultimate freedom and being awarded millions of dollars. So anyway, man, let's hop right up into that reaction.
Okay, you're in jail, and now you start having a problem with some dude. Is this something you could talk about?
Yeah.
Big Devil.
Yeah.
I believe is his name.
Mm-hmm.
You and him start having a lot of issues.
Well, we just kept bumping heads because of the program that he was running. That was all. That's the big homie. I'm saying he was a big homie. You know.
Okay. And can you talk about how things go left with you guys?
It's prison politics, basically. You know what I'm saying? I was supposed to do something, and I felt that I didn't want to do it, and you know what I'm saying, I guess there was consequences to it.
Okay, and I believe you end up getting stabbed?
Yeah, well, I got nicked in the neck.
Okay. Now, and so this guy was like, you know, he was the one doing everything in jail. I mean, running the show, I guess.
Yeah.
For you guys.
Yeah, over. Yeah.
Okay, and now you're not having this. He dicks your neck. So I mean, you know what I'm
saying? To keep it all the way edges and shit. Like this dude is like beyond life, bro. Like this dude is beyond life, and I'm telling.
And you know, real quick, just to interject here, I was hollering at one of my partners the other day who had been doing time since around '89, back when they still had to wait. You know, back quote unquote when prison was prison. And I happened to ask him, I said, hey, homie, who was the biggest dude as far as in terms of, you know, muscle mass being on swole? Who was the biggest dude that you saw? And he said, oh, man, it had to be that dude, Big Devil from Hoover. So by all accounts, yeah, this dude was a tremendously humongous dude.
I'm telling you the truth because I was there with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he married a CO. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he was Diop. His name was Devil. And that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, his character. You know what I'm saying? He would get drunk, you know what I'm saying, and then pretty much everybody, you know what I'm saying, whatever he wanted to do, he was going to do. And all this sexual, none of that shit happened, bro. This had nothing to do with any type of sexual situation between me and him. This was strictly gang politics. You know what I'm saying? I went to jail when I was 18 years old. Can't say he ever raped me. Can't say I ever ran, I ever told him none of that. My name is good anywhere you go. Guaranteed.
That's what's up. Okay, but you guys got this situation. I mean, can you talk about what happened?
Basically, you know what I'm saying, like, I was called to the yard, you know what I'm saying, was having a meeting, you know what I'm saying, basically about the situation, you know what I'm saying, and he asked me to explain myself, and I told him, well, this situation already was taken care of. I'm not explaining myself, you know what I'm saying, and then I got into it with another homie. When I turned my neck, you know what I'm saying, he tried to stab me in the neck, you know what I'm saying, he scraped me, you know what I'm saying, I bounced off, I went over by the workers' change door, you know what I'm saying, I sat down. You know, and I'm just sitting here like, damn. I'm just thinking about like, damn, I done stabbed a few people. I guess this is how they feel, you know what I'm saying, being a victim. You know what I mean? Like, the whole yard was looking at me. Just like,
And it's crazy, right? Because I was just getting ready to interject and say in a situation like that, you know, it's like the yard gets quiet. And it's like the whole yard kind of knows what's going on. And you can feel the tension in prison, regardless of if it's a situation that involves your car or another car, you know, because normally on the yard, people is playing basketball, playing cards, they talking, they working out, they doing what they doing. But whenever there's a situation where it's some knife play involved, somebody has been stabbed, it's just an eerie feeling over the whole yard. It's quiet.
like, damn.
But you're not having it. I mean, this actually turns out to be the best thing that happens.
It did.
Right? I know it's a horrible thing.
No, but my whole thing is that, like, see, I need to make sure I make it clear, because, see, I'm not going to sit here and try to make it seem like I'm just all extra out and all of that, because I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm saying it's going to be a lot of situations, you know what I'm saying, a lot of youngsters, I'm saying, going to come up about, you know what I'm saying, and I don't want them to feel, you know what I'm saying, they're not supposed to feel whatever they're supposed to feel. I was scared. On Hove I was. I was scared. But I was scared of being a buster more than I was of that. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take care of what I needed to take care of. You know, initially, you know what I'm saying, after I was, you know what I'm saying, he scratched me, you know what I'm saying, it took like about 2 or 3 years for it to go away. You know what I'm saying? It was like a puncture with a scratch mark. You know what I'm saying?
And it's a cold situation, you know, in prison, man. You definitely have to counter a violent act with another violent act, man. In prison, that's all you really have is your reputation. And it's kind of sad that violence rules. And if you let anybody, homie or not, do something to you violent and you just accept it and don't get your get back, you'll never be viewed the same, regardless of any prison you go to. What you do in one prison will definitely follow you to the next prison, to the next prison, and to the next prison. There's always going to be people who you done time with happen to pop up at another prison that you're at, or possibly may even be there before you get there. You know, I've never done time at any prison where at some point in time there was another individual from another prison I done time with. He didn't happen to pop up and hit that yard. So, you know, your reputation is always going to follow you, good or bad.
Deep scratch mark. You know what I'm saying? I went inside, patched myself up, and came back outside. It was yard recall already, you know, and then, see, like I said before, I wasn't finna even try to go at him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be like suicide. Like, this is a big old dude, you know? So as I'm walking, you know what I'm saying, down the walkway, you know, it's like he turned around and smirked at me, like as if calling me like, what you gonna do? And that was pretty much it. I went at him.
I mean,
and that's crazy that he say that, right? Because I had a similar situation. I told a story, and the name of that story is Chill versus Goliath, part 1, part 2, where I had to get cracking with that knife. And if you haven't seen that story, go check it out. But the story, in the course of the story, where this individual, he tries to slap me, right? Big old giant dude. And I'm walking to go retrieve my knife, and we happen to cross paths. And he look at me and he say, "What? You ain't gonna do nothing." And that really added fuel to the fire, because it's like, this dude is like, "Yeah, man, I didn't put my hands on you," or whatever, and you just gonna accept it. That's a cold situation where a dude is basically trying to mark you out. And so, yeah, it didn't sit well with me. And, you know, you got to get cracking under those situations.
Well, yeah, from what I understand, I mean, right in front of security and everybody.
Gun tower, everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Gun tower.
Yeah.
And they didn't try to shoot you?
They didn't. God is great, man. God is great. You know what I'm saying? And that situation basically like turned everything around for me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That goes to show you that, you know what I'm saying, if you do what you're supposed to do, you know what I'm saying, it's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out, the way God wanted it to work out. I mean, at that point in time, all my appeals was over with. You know what I'm saying? I was in prison forever.
So you were done. So you thought you was done.
It was done and over with. I literally didn't have any more appeals. I appealed everything. And the craziest thing about it is that when my case got reversed, the same things I said in my appeal to them that they denied were the reasons that the new judge granted my petition for exoneration.
Okay, right. So this case happens, and now during this case is where they start looking in.
Well,
they stumbled upon your old case and they start to see.
Nah, it didn't happen like that.
Okay.
That would be nice, but it didn't happen like that. Well, what ended up happening is, when the situation happened, I ended up being charged as like a serial killer. So they charged me with the death penalty. So I ended up having 2 lawyers and 2 investigators for each attorney. So I basically played for time. I'm saying I really didn't. I'm fighting the death penalty. So I explained to my lawyers, I'm saying, listen, like in jail, like the murder that happened in jail, I'm going to tell them. I'm just going to get on the stand and tell them. I'm saying it was me or him. Just think about it. This is my philosophy. They got to choose between the devil and Gumby. I think I'm going to win that one. Now this one, my original case, I'm telling them that I didn't do this. We didn't have anything to do with this. We don't know anything about this shit. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened. I'm going to show you how great God is. I had been in the hole for like about 5 or 6 years already. And the police had lost some bullets. And, you know, it's crazy because they don't really, like, the hole is not affected by the main line. Like, if the main line go on lockdown, we already on lockdown, so the shit don't even matter to us. But this time, they searching the whole prison. So I had a gang of legal work that I brought from the county jail and just things I was trying to work on for my appeal. I started going through all of the new discovery that the DA sent me. Bro, I'm going through it, and I see a 6-pack photo lineup, right? Tell God is great, bro. And the 6-pack photo lineup, it's my 6-pack photo lineup, but it's a Xerox copy, but it's got a circle of number 5, and I'm standing number 2, and it's got initials at the bottom of it. So I keep looking, and I find the corresponding statement to go with it. All along, their witnesses had picked somebody else out of my 6-pack photo lineup, and they had withheld this the whole time. Oh,
that's immediate.
Immediately.
That's
so
immediate.
I was kicking on the door. I was kicking on the door. Let me about this bitch. Little did I know it was gonna take about another 6-7 years for me to get out.
Damn.
So that's a cold situation. So at that point in time, he said he had already been in the hole 5 years fighting a murder case that had happened in prison where they were trying to ultimately give him the death penalty. And then he says once he discovers this information that the district attorney had withheld, proving that he's innocent, it still took him another 5 or 6 years from that point to get out. So imagine spending 11 years in the hole, you know, fighting a case where they're trying to give you the death penalty on. That's man, that's got to be tough.
Damn, that's called prosecution malfeasance.
No, prosecutor misconduct.
Misconduct, I think, yes.
Yeah, prosecutor.
Because when you get arrested, when the DA hands evidence over, they got to hand over
everything. What's called
all the evidence, even exculpatory evidence.
Exculpatory. That means that evidence is going to clear you.
Yeah.
They have to hand over everything.
Could make you look innocent.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
They have to do. It's the law.
Yeah. Of course, it's the law. And this is how a lot of the situations happen where you have people who are, wrongly convicted and they get reversals, or they go back to court. In my situation, it wasn't like that. Now,
just for those who not necessarily aware of the judicial system and how it works. Let me give you a quick rundown. You know, when the prosecution and the police arrest somebody, and then it goes to the prosecution, and they feel, okay, this dude is guilty, and so they start to investigate and do all this type of stuff in order to build a case. Against the individual who they feel is guilty of the crime they're trying to prosecute him for. Now, in the course of this investigation, they find some evidence that clearly, and this happens often, this happens more than a lot of people may realize, they find evidence that clearly shows you are not the person who did this, but possibly due to your street reputation, your criminal history, they want you off the streets. So they will withhold that evidence and just say, oh, we're not even going to mention that. And we'll continue to investigate and prosecute this dude as if he's guilty. In the interest of the law, a prosecutor is supposed to say, okay, hey, man, this dude didn't do it. We're not going to prosecute him for this, and we're going to hand this evidence over to his attorney. But you have a lot of crooked, dirty prosecutors who will withhold information like that, man.
Like if Devil didn't die, I would still be in prison.
Now, once again, that has to be one of the craziest prison stories ever, man. This dude goes to jail for something he actually didn't do. He catches an in-house stabbing, which ultimately takes the life of one of his homies. And now they're trying to give him the death penalty. He gets some lawyers, and while investigating certain things, he happens to find evidence that proves he was not guilty on the original charge that sent him to prison. Now, keep in mind, it was also him and one of his homeboys. So in the course of the altercation that he gets into with his homie, takes his homie's life. Now they're trying to give him the death penalty. He discovers some evidence that proves that he did not do it. And so not only does he win his freedom, he also wins the freedom of the crimee of his homeboy who was sentenced with him on that initial case. And like I say, to top it off, they both ended up getting out and getting millions of dollars due to the fact that they had been sent to prison on charges that they were completely innocent of. I think what ended up happening is they gave him a manslaughter on the case where he unalived his homeboy, and then on the other case they dismissed it, and eventually he was awarded millions of dollars in a wrongful incarceration settlement. Basically, I don't know if that's the right term. Anyway, it's your boy 16 to life. Shout out to Cam Capone. He interviewed me back in the days. If you haven't seen that, check that out. Cam Capone interview 16 to life. Y'all already know who it is. Resume normal program.
How could the same minds that built the pyramid to the east go from that to self-hatred, killing kids in the street, from one extreme to the next, opposite ends of the spectrum? Nobody to lead the lost, teach, defend, and protect them. Most blacks nowadays, they too ashamed of their skin, psychologically enslaved, caged, and chained from within. It's time to stand up and take back what's rightfully ours. Take the lead and heal the world, ascend to heights of the stars. I'm just a man and I ain't perfect, I got plenty of flaws, but I'm a soldier down to die and not relent for the cause. I come about one of the many training camps of the slum. Soon as you learn to tie your shoes, you taught to handle a gun. Reading riders for a war between the red and the blue. Cause you a blood and I'm a crip that make me better than you. The government is loving it, they plucking us off. So Democrat, Republicans, that five fingers brought together make the strength of the fist. Black power, white devils put an end to that. The strongest race alive, divided by the love of the dough. Degree, jealousy, and envy in the colors we spoke. Five fingers brought together make the strength of the fist. Black power, white devils put an end to that. The strongest race alive, divided by the love of the dough. Degree, jealousy, and envy in the colors we spoke. I went to sleep this past week with a vision of peace, but I awoke to a war zone in conditions of beef. Instead of getting along, niggas is getting it on. Spitting chrome, splitting domes, steady killing our own. Ancestors rolling over more than twice in their graves. Imagine giving up your life and sacrificing in vain. We went from kings and queens and true reflections of God to being killers and thieves. Bending laps on this yard. For every slave they set free, they made a slave of the mind. Plantations been redefined, prison changed the design. Cell phones advanced enough to log you onto the net, but at the same time it's starving to death. They done stacked the deck for them and left the color to die. And the more I peep it, I develop blood in my eye. They got us trapped in a cycle of pain, ambition, and violence, predestined for early graves and prison confinement. Five fingers brought together make the strength of the fist.